Hi, I'm Dr. Charlie Cobb. Welcome to Anxiety Fight. Before we get started, there are a couple of things I want to mention. First, I don't stand on much ceremony or formality, so most of my patients call me Charlie or just the doc, and I invite you to do the same. Second, I want you to grab a couple of pieces of paper and a pen. We will be using these later on. Now, undoubtedly, you're watching this because you have panic attacks or some other form of anxiety that makes your life completely miserable. I can help, and I know that these sessions can change your life. For over 30 years, I've been treating patients with anxiety, and in that time, I have listened to thousands of personal stories from people who have struggled with their fears. I have taught them my techniques, and I have been fortunate enough to work with them as they learn to overcome their fears and get their lives back. In most cases, it's a pretty amazing journey. I want to give you the same expertise in managing your anxiety, and so I invite you into time with me through these sessions so that I can teach you the exact same skills. I know a lot of you would like this to be really easy. And if I had a pill for you to take that would make your anxiety go away, I would already be retired and a billionaire. And if I did have that pill and told you that you had to take it 3 times a day while standing on your head and reading Shakespeare, you would do it. So when I tell you something in this program works and to do it, I mean it. I want you to be as responsible doing what I say as you would be taking a prescription I gave you. These things work. Now, if I were you, I'd want to know who this guy is talking to me. So let me introduce myself. I'm a medical doctor and a practicing psychiatrist. I have been trained in the therapy skills to psychologically manage your anxiety, but because I'm a doctor, I also have the scientific and medical training to know how anxiety works in your brain and in your body. I will help you see that anxiety is a perfectly normal response that you do not have to be afraid of. Now, if you are like most of my patients, I see you rolling your eyes, and more than one person has looked at me with disbelief and said, "Oh, come on, doc. This sure doesn't feel normal. There has to be something wrong with me." Well, I know you may be confused and fearful right now, but I can assure you that I have helped hundreds of people see their anxiety in a very different way. Now, there are lots of self-help books and programs out there, and I suspect most of you have probably tried at least one. But what I have found that really helps, I did not learn through medical school or my medical training. I learned it from treating people just like you. I have spent hours listening to people and learning what works and what doesn't. And what I have learned, I have never seen in any other program. So with what my patients have taught me, combined with my medical background, I developed this program that is based on the practical approaches that help my patients. And I know it works. I have seen people get their lives back, and it will help you too. In addition to my professional experience, I've had a very personal experience with anxiety. My son, at a very early age, started having panic attacks and had trouble attending school and dealing with other social situations. Most nights, he lay awake in his bed, scared, and could not sleep. The next day, he would be exhausted. His mind was overwhelmed with worry. And seeing him go through this and feeling his anguish made finding ways to help him defeat his anxiety an intensely personal mission. I don't like what anxiety tried to do to my son. No one should have to go through life that afraid and limit their lives because they are afraid. No one. And certainly not you. It is my dedication to you that through this program, I will teach you how to fight your anxiety and free you from its clutches. And I have to tell you, it is a fight to get your life back. But it is a battle you can win. So how do you begin? Well, the good news is that you are not your anxiety. This is the first key point to understand. While anxiety is certainly something that you experience and feel, it is not who you are. You are completely separate from it. I'm going to ask you what I call the miracle question. Think for a minute. If a miracle occurred and after watching this session, your panic or anxiety was completely gone, who would you be? What would your life be like? How would you be different? What would you start doing if your anxiety was gone forever? Take one of the pieces of paper that you have and title it, "The Real Me Without Anxiety." On this paper, write down who you are without any anxiety or panic. Imagine that your anxiety is completely gone, and list all the things you would do if you never felt fearful again. Put down your goals and your hopes and your dreams. What are the qualities you have or aspire to have that make you the good person that you are? What do your family and friends like about you? Do not rush to complete this. Take your time, even if it takes several hours or days. This isn't a test or a race. Sleep on it. Work on it a while and then take a break and come back to it. Ask people around you what they think. It is important that you really think about this. And if you need to stop watching this session and work on this, do so. And come back when you're ready. After you've worked on this and have gotten the list started, I want you to add a special entry. Make a particular point of putting down what one special thing you will do when you are not limited by your fear. What is that one thing that will prove to you that you have truly overcome your anxiety? Put today's date by it and put a big star by it. This is important because I know that one day you will be getting ready to do exactly this. And I want you to remember that on this day, as you watched this session, you set it as a goal. And on that day, I want you to look at this list and say, I made it. I did it. And then I want you to celebrate the strength and the courage it has taken. Now, some of you may not be able to think of many things. That's okay. Right now, you may be so consumed with your anxiety that you cannot see beyond it. Ask your friends and family. Others will be able to see right through your fear, and they can help guide you to the awareness that you are so much more than you think. This is the beginning of finding you again. But this is not the final list. You will be adding to it as we go through the program. Look at how you've described yourself. This is who you truly and genuinely are. Can you see the you that you used to know before the anxiety took control? Do you feel how good it feels to be in touch with you again? Your goal is to get back to this person and live your life, not what the anxiety says. Your anxiety is not you. I really cannot emphasize this point enough. Anxiety does things to you, but it is not who you are. Look at your paper. Imagine how it would feel to be this person, and let that feeling settle into your bones. Feel the joy of being completely free. Now, as I said, this is a fight. And it is a fight to recapture your life. Are you ready to fight for you? If the answer is yes, we are ready. But if you're not sure or you think you can't, don't worry. The anxiety may have you convinced that you are not strong enough. I ask that you commit to watching all the sessions. If you do, I know you will find the courage to take on your anxiety and join the fight. So let's talk a little bit about this thing called anxiety. Anxiety will try to intimidate and destroy you with its negative brainwashing. Anxiety and panic are horrible things that keep you from being able to function. and they tell you awful lies about yourself. Lies such as, you are weak or broken. You're incapable of living your life. They make you doubt yourself. They make you feel like you're going crazy. They make you question your ability to have a future and succeed. If your anxiety was a person outside of you, following you around and talking to you like the anxiety does, you would not put up with them for 1 minute. You would tell them in no uncertain terms to get out of your life and leave you alone. And if they didn't, you would want to turn around and punch them in the face. Picture your anxiety as someone this obnoxious. Push it outside of you. Separate yourself from it. One of the best ways to do this is to give it a name. I don't care what you call it, and I have probably heard it called nearly everything you can think of, from liar to gizmo to Simon, and some much more colorful names that I really can't mention in this session. But give it a name so you can talk about it and talk back to it in third person. This reinforces that it is separate from you. It is not you and has no resemblance to the real you. As you think about the anxiety as a person, imagine hanging out with them. Is this the kind of person you would invite out and then listen to all night long? Hell no. This is the kind of person you want to avoid. René Descartes, the philosopher, had a great name. He described what he called the Deus Deceptor. His personification of this was that it was clever and deceitful and directed its entire effort to misleading you. It could alter the fundamentals of logic. It presents an illusion of a world that does not exist, including all bodily sensations. As you will come to see, this is an excellent description of anxiety. So I like to call anxiety the double D, or diabolical deceiver. Whatever you call it, just have fun and use your imagination finding its name. But make it meaningful to you. Anxiety is like a big bully that just won't leave you alone. You cannot meditate it away or medicate it away, and you won't make it go away with sweet little rosy thoughts or compromises and concessions. But remember, whatever you call it, the anxiety wants you to be miserable, and it wants you to be afraid. Take out the other piece of paper. Put the name of your anxiety at the top. And under this name, title this paper, The Lies the Anxiety Tells Me. On this sheet of paper, make a list of all the negative things that the anxiety says. Things like, there's something seriously wrong with you. You're going crazy. You're stupid. You're weak. Your life will never amount to anything. And again, take your time and really think about what the anxiety says. List as many things as you can, and usually this list is pretty long. Identify all the negative thoughts that you can think of. You will think of more and more as the program goes on, so you will also be adding things to this paper. Again, if you need to stop watching and focus on this, do so. Now look at your list. It is not the real you saying these things. You would never say these things to yourself, and you would not want to hang out with anyone who did. These things are not true, and you should not believe them. This is a list of lies that the diabolical deceiver tells you and tries to make you believe. In fact, on the paper with all the negative things written, I want you to write in big bold letters the word lies. And your paper called The Real Me shows you the truth. So on it, put the word truth in big bold letters. Do not let the anxiety ever fill your head with lies that make you feel bad. It wants to control you and run your life, and it has no good intentions for you. Remember, this is a fight, and you cannot be passive and fight off your anxiety. You have to actively engage it. And to do so, you have to have a battle strategy. And that is where I come in. We are declaring war on your anxiety, and I will help you develop the battle plan. Now, I know this may seem a little scary to some of you. The anxiety seems too powerful. But after treating so many people with anxiety, I know how this deceiver works. I know it is a supreme trickster. I know how it thinks, and I know the psychological strategies and deceptions it uses to make you feel bad. But I also know its weaknesses and limitations. So like any good general, I have met the anxiety and I know the enemy. I have encountered it many times, and I have gone to battle with it. And I know the battle plan that will win your war against it. My years of experience have taught me everything you need to know about the enemy. And with that advantage, I will lead you into the battle, and we will win. You now have your first two weapons, the paper with the real me without anxiety, and the one with the lies anxiety tells me. Through this program, I will teach you how to use these. And there's one additional thing, a third thing, you will need as you prepare to go to war with the anxiety. Knowing something and remembering to use it are two very different things. All of the knowledge in the world is useless. All of the weapons are useless unless you remember to put them to use. Carrying something with you that reminds you of your fight and what you have to do to win is important. Soldiers do this all the time. They carry something into battle with them to remind them of the purpose, mission, and reason for their fight. What we call something like this is a totem. A totem is an object that is used to represent a person, a group of people, or a belief, and it connects you to the characteristics that you admire in them or that inspire you. For example, in the popular Hollywood movie Inception, a totem was used to tell the difference between dreams and reality. In your case, a totem is an object that serves to represent the real you and all the things that you are without anxiety. You can use it to tell the difference between the real you and the nightmare of lies that the anxiety tells you. It reminds you of why you are in this fight, and it will remind you of the courage and strength you have to fight the anxiety and overcome it. Now, only you as the holder of the totem know the specifics of it. It represents all the qualities you listed on your paper, the real me. Associate your totem with this list. This is important. If you cannot feel the energy of it, you are separated from the real you and the anxiety is trying to control you. When you touch your totem and connect back to its power, you are in control once more and are back to your real self. You will remember what this fight is all about. Find a totem for yourself. It could be a stone, a necklace, a bracelet, ring, key, beads, or any other object that is small enough so that you can carry it with you wherever you go. Hold it and look at it, and begin linking it with the real you. And make sure you carry it with you all the time. Touch it. Feel its power to bring you back to your real self, and let it anchor you to the truth. It keeps you focused on your mission to recapture your life and fight the lies of the anxiety. In this program, you will find 8 sessions. It is extremely important that you watch all 8 and watch them in order. I have specifically structured them in this order because it is the way that works the best, and each session is built off the previous one. In each one, I will help you develop your battle strategy so that you can win your war over your anxiety. Each one will help you understand your anxiety better, not only in how your mind is dealing with it, but also in how your body and your brain are reacting. They all contain ways to help you fight your anxiety and rebuild your life. I have fought this enemy many, many times before, and I can tell you it really doesn't like me very much. And I can tell you why. I always win. So here we are. We have declared war on your anxiety. I will be there by your side. I will join you in this fight. And while you may not know it, I know we will be victorious. I do not like losing, and I know how to win. Now, before we close, there's one more thing I want to say. But I'm going to say this specifically to your anxiety and to the diabolical deceiver. Diabolical deceiver, and whatever new name you've been given, hear me loud and clear. We are coming after you. I have defeated you many times before, and you know I will do it again. We know your lies, and we know the truth. Let the battle begin. Are you ready? Your life is waiting.